This flesh has no desire to follow Jesus. It desires comfort over sacrifice, pleasure over discipline, pride over humility, revenge over forgiveness. It seeks the easy road, the wide gate, and the temporary reward. If I listen only to my flesh, I would rarely pray. I'd rarely forgive or serve. I'd rarely deny myself for the sake of another. The flesh does not naturally seek God. Scripture tells us that there is a war taking place within us. For the flesh desires what is contrary to the Spirit, and the Spirit what is contrary to the flesh. And that's Galatians 5:17. Every believer knows this battle. The alarm clock rings, and the flesh says, sleep. The Spirit says to pray. Someone wounds us, and the flesh says, strike back. The Spirit says to forgive. Temptation appears, and the flesh says, just this once. But the Spirit says, choose righteousness. This conflict is not evidence that we are failing. It is evidence that the battle is real. The Christian life was never described as a vacation. It was described as a race, a battle, a daily carrying of a cross, the good fight. The Apostle Paul did not say, follow your feelings. He said, I discipline my body and keep it under control. And that was 1 Corinthians 9:27. Notice the language. It's not suggestion and it's not negotiation. Discipline. There are days when I don't feel like praying. I pray anyway. There are days when I don't feel like reading scripture, and I read anyways. And there are days when forgiveness feels impossible, but I forgive anyway. And that's because Jesus is Lord, not my feelings. My flesh may object, my emotions may protest, my desires may resist, but they are not my master. Christ is. The goal of the Christian life is not to make flesh comfortable. The goal is to make the Spirit stronger. Every time we choose obedience over impulse, or truth over temptation, Christ over self, we strengthen what God is building within us. One day this battle will end. One day these bodies will be redeemed. Faith will become sight. But until then, we must fight. Not with hatred or fear, not on our own strength, but through the power of Christ who lives within us. Fight the good fight. Tell the flesh no, and tell Jesus yes. Keep on walking. God bless.